Let's go to another Las Vegas call. Frank, I'm Chris, in for Michael on the Savage Nation. Hi.
Chris, your opening monologue, I mean, you stated it all. There it is. If we're not almost communists, we're doggone sure socialists. The market's bearing it out. I got some bad news for your business listeners. You want to believe communist NBC or MS, or I call it Comedy Central. The market is going to drop to 5,200. We're going to have short covers all year long. The disassociated press here in Vegas, Chris, just announced the economic forecasters for Clark County don't see a turnaround anytime after the end of 2010-11. And if this town doesn't turn around, MGM just couldn't get the bond. They couldn't get a loan on a billion-dollar bond to finish City Center. We are hurting. This is what socialism is. Misery loves company. And hey, if we're all miserable, we're going to relabel misery happiness. Orwell did it. Chris, thank you for the time. Yeah, I want to hear the rest of your show.
Well, Frank, you sound like a smart guy. You sound like you know what you're talking about. And in Las Vegas, Nevada, you mentioned Clark County. That is the home to tremendous tourism. And the mayor, Oscar Goodman, who is a bit of a circus character. But on one point, I agree with him. This is a guy who said, what the hell does the White House have any business in telling people all across the country, whether their businesses are floundering or not, whether they should go spend their tourism dollars, their tax or their own private investment dollars? This guy is single-handedly killing the tourism industry, as a matter of fact. In fact, the last time I was here filling in for Michael, I read you a joint statement, a joint letter by all the presidents and heads of the major hotel chains that said, what are you guys doing? What are you doing in Washington, D.C.? You're killing our business as the hotel industry. You're telling all these people that traditionally spend literally millions of dollars a year with us on corporate junkets and bonus trips and golf trips, all that stuff that sounds extravagant to so many people, that is just as much a part, Frank, of the economy as anything else. Because and we learned this in the last election in Las Vegas, Frank. We learned, didn't we, that all the people that work in those casinos, all the maids, all those people, that's a huge union. Who was trying to court that union? Remember, Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, they were in a showdown for those Vegas voters. They were in a showdown for them. And now you got the very guy who was out there courting, and didn't he win Nevada, Frank? Did Obama win Nevada?
Just barely, and Ron Paul ran second, and the disassociated press did not post that at all, that Ron Paul came in second in Nevada, by the way.
But, Frank, think about this for a minute. Here's a guy that won this state and pledged all these workers, these maids, the folks that are doing the grunt work in Las Vegas, that he was their guy. He was going to represent their union. Now he's in Washington constantly railing on anyone that dares spend money in your town. Now, at what point, Frank, do you think people in your own backyard of Vegas are going to wake up and realize they got hoodwinked?
Oh, they will, and they pointed out in our papers, but you didn't see it in the disassociated press, that every other city from Frisco, where you're at, that these bankers are going to go have their conventions, are going to. We're slashing room rates. Our occupancies are down 50%. So they've slashed room rates. The banquets were going to be cut. They were going to save tremendous money coming here, but not anymore.
Well, that's because socialism doesn't allow for that opulence. Nobody gets to celebrate. Nobody gets to have fun. Nobody golfs. Nobody gets massages. Nobody goes to hotels. We all get just enough, Frank, right? Just enough.
Image is everything. The appearance of impropriety, it's all a show. It's all a facade. And we're socialists. Accept that, and now they're full communist ahead. Great show, Chris.
Thanks, Frank. Let me go to Corey, Chicago. Corey, I'm Chris in for Michael on the Savage Nation. Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Great. Thanks for the call.
All right. I just wanted to comment on the Bill Ayers and Obama affiliation. I mean, they both sat on the board together, and, granted, Bill Ayers had some devious things in his past or whatever, but Obama gets all the flack because he sat on the board. But he believed in building up the community. Bill Ayers was building up the community. Just because of what Bill Ayers did in the past, said Barack Obama stop helping, his community.
Okay, Corey, look, the ship has sailed on Bill Ayers. I mean, the guy was, again, on network television just 2 weeks ago, reaffirming his commitment to the destruction and devastation of the country. I mean, in 2006, he's down there with Hugo Chavez, claiming capitalism ain't the way, socialism's the way. I mean, if you're willing to kind of excuse it as like it was like a pot bust for an ounce or something, he was pulled over like it was your high school kid that got busted for some booze, and it's not the same thing, Corey. You do understand that, right?
Yeah, I understand that. But socialism, it's working in Canada. National health care.
Okay, so you're a guy that you're on board the socialism train. Then you like it.
Yes.
Now, what do you like about it?
I like about it that we have whoever needs help, we help them out, and we have stuff that we can all, like even the library. Library is socialist. We all get to use it. We pay our taxes to it. The money has to go somewhere. It might as well go to healthcare or education. So I believe that everybody's here to go to college for free, like they do in France. They would be a much better place.
Corey, do you have any investments?
Any investments?
Yeah.
No.
Thanks for the call. Michael, Tucson, Arizona, real quick on the Savage Nation. Hi.
Oh, yeah, I guess my concern would be, I didn't realize presidents weren't allowed to use personal communication devices. I thought, and I could understand it back in the day, when, phones were mainly for businesses and things like that. But it seems a little odd to me that, a president couldn't have a cell phone to communicate with his daughter or his family or things like that. I understand with technology being as it is, there's a lot of other means and a lot of other things he could be doing with it. But it could be as simple as, he likes his favorite sports team and is getting information in text form. But it doesn't necessarily strike me as something that would necessarily be negative, but certainly could be employed that way. So there should be probably some safeguards, but it seems a little arcane to keep somebody from having a personal communication device at all.
Michael, it's the President of the United States. Do you think if he really needed to be in touch with someone, he couldn't get there?
Oh, no, I certainly believe that. But
what's the need for a private, personal communication device for the most connected, most recognizable, most powerful man on Earth?
Well, personally, for example, I don't think it's anybody's business, communications between him and his family. And I certainly believe that he should be allowed to do that.
He lives with them. They can call him on a dime in a minute.
Yeah, but we're in a different world today. We're dealing with people who are, elsewhere, other places, things going on. Don't get me wrong. I definitely agree with you on the, you've got to have some sort of, watch out sort of category. But getting to the point where you're, pretty much in the dark ages of technology now. No.
It's not enough. But see, I don't want to get caught in this. I'm not hip. I don't get it. I'm not with it. It's not about being cool and hip and plugged in and switched on. He's the President of the United States. He's got people all around him that can he can communicate with anyone in an instant. He can be on the phone with the premier of any major nation in 5 seconds if he wants it, Michael. It's not a matter of that for him. I mean, we can't. This isn't like you and me driving to the office. You get that.
Oh, yeah, and certainly I'm not probably even considering the fact that, hey, like I said, he's the President of the United States. If he needs to get hold of his daughter, it'll happen. Somebody else will have a cell phone nearby or something like that. But then again, that still falls into the same category of, well, he's using a piece of technology and it's not being, documented.
That's it. That's my thing, Michael. It's secrecy, and this is Mr. Transparency. Chris Stigall in for Michael Savage on the Savage Nation.
Savage.